It was an honor 11 years ago to serve here as an intern. And I learned a lot as an intern. I gave a lot of tours. I answered a lot of calls, but I had the opportunity to have a front row seat to watch Congresswoman Tauscher day in, day out work for the people of her district and reach across the aisle. And I see another mentor of mine here, Dennis Cardoza. I learned the same thing from him. Reach across the aisle, make friends. We're all in this together, and it's not about hyperpartisanship, it's about problem solving. And I admire that so much, working for Congresswoman Tauscher. And many of you know that in the morning before that internship, I worked at the Washington Sports Club just down the street, where I would give out towels to many of the members of Congress. And then after that internship, I would work just down the street at Tortilla Coast, where we're going later, and I would oftentimes serve meals to members of Congress. And so there I was in the morning serving them gym towels, in the evening serving them meals, and today with this opportunity to serve with them in the halls of Congress, which I think makes our country so great because it gives that opportunity. I want to make sure everyone has that opportunity. No promises when we go to Tortilla Coast later that I will be serving you. I was tipped for that. It was the only thing I got when I was here in Washington. But I also want to say something about my, I guess, former boss now, which is hard to say, Nancy O'Malley. Such a great mentor to me. She hired me and also helped train me as a lawyer. But what I learned from Nancy in the courtroom pales to what I learned from Nancy as a person. I had the opportunity to work with Nancy when she ran for district attorney on the campaign side of things. I remember her first event, literally, we had hundreds of people coming to this event, and there Nancy was at the table, tying balloons to the table. And I said, Nancy, we've got dozens of volunteers here to do that. And Nancy said, no, we got to get this done. We're all, the same here. Like, no, I'm no better than anyone else. And I really learned that from Nancy, the human side of leading and connecting to people. And I appreciate that more than anything else that I learned from Nancy, that, we're all human. No one is better than anyone else. But, in the district attorney's office, and there's so many of my friends here today from the district attorney's office, we really strive to work for the victims of Alameda County. And I'm so grateful that so many of you took time off to come here and see me sworn in. But I promise the lessons I learned in the courtroom about fairness, equality, and justice, I will take to Congress, and I will be a federal advocate for you locally. But it does mean so much to me that so many of my colleagues made it here today. I want to also mention my family who's here today. My mother, who worked so hard to raise 4 boys, and don't hold it against her that one of them now has to serve in an unpopular Congress. Jacob, who's here today, he's a police officer for Alameda County, and he's the one that goes out and puts his life on the line every day to keep us safe. And of course, my father, Eric, who is a retired police officer, who really instilled in me a want to serve the public. And so I thank all of them for being here today, going through this on the campaign, and I think this is a celebration for all of that. Moving forward, what I want to do for this district is what we did together. We went out there and we told folks that the race was about performance, not politics. Now, that's a line that I stole from Alan Tauscher. I use it every time I do an interview. But this is really about performance, not politics. Because this room, if we were to take a poll, and we're not going to do it, I think it is probably evenly divided among Republicans and Democrats. And that is what really excites me and moves me and lets me know that I am here not to engage in the hyperpartisanship that we've seen really plague Washington. I'm here to solve problems, and that's what I plan to do. I've made friends already on both sides of the aisle. I really look forward to moving forward and doing that in a bipartisan way. And I promise you that as I move forward, the way I'll do it is the same way we did on the campaign. I will use my feet every day, the same 2 feet that knocked on 100,000 doors with many of you, to not forget where I came from and always go out and take our case to the people who sent us here. I will also make sure that I use my ears and listen, because I was told as a kid, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and you should use them in proportion. I will use my gut, that risk-taking, culture of California. I will apply that in the way I work in Congress, because the fact our country, which is admired by so many around the world because we take risks, that you can try and fail, and try and fail, and try and fail, and then try and finally succeed. So many countries look upon failure as something that's shameful, but in our country it's that risk-taking culture that moves us forward, and I will continue to do that because 14 months ago my own folks thought I was crazy and advised me not to run for the United States Congress. So it's that risk-taking culture I'll use in Congress. I will use also my brain to make sure that I continue to not just serve my party, but I serve my conscience. That I not just serve my neighbors, but that I serve the whole district. Finally, I will use my heart, because in the district attorney's office we had a saying, "We do justice," meaning we weren't here to win or lose, we were here to do the most just result. The saying I've come up for our office when we met as a team for the first time yesterday was, "We help people." That's why we're all here. I always believe that we find our meaning in life in the service that we bring to others. And so I want to be here to continue to help others, and I know that's why we were called to serve. That's why we all came together to do this. And as I put my hand on the Bible, I was reminded of my favorite Bible verse, which is Romans 8:24, which is, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" And when I think about this room here, I think, if my community, if my friends, if my family are all for me, who can be against me? So thank you all for being here today. I promise you the same promise I made the first day I announced that I was going to run for Congress, which was I always will listen to you, always stand up for you, and never, ever will I forget who sent me here and how we did this together, and that was because of you.